Blood Angels of the 9th Legion are a loyalist Space Marine bloodline, and one of the founding legions that stayed true to the Emperor during the Horus Heresy. In modern day 40k times, they exist as a collection of chapters, the original legion having been broken up into smaller chunks as per the Codex Astartes. Let's talk about their history and the chapter as it stands today. During the times of the Great Crusade, the Blood Angels were led by their Primarch Sanguinius. Like all of the Primarchs, Sanguinius had a few quirks, the most notable being his visions of the future, as well as, of course, a giant set of white feathered wings. When the Primarchs were scattered across the galaxy, this little winged child came to rest upon the moon Bal Secundus, where he was found by a human tribe. Whilst some thought to kill the mutant child, their hand was stayed by compassion for this otherwise perfect angelic boy. He learned from his adoptive parents quickly, absorbing knowledge as his body and strength grew. Soon, he was a young man, well learned and with the strength in his wings for flight. He was schooled in the various weapons of his tribe and showed great resilience by being able to walk across the moon's irradiated surface without a protective suit. To make a long story short, he united his tribe with the others, joining the humans of the moon together and hunting down the irradiated mutant monsters that stalked across its surface. He raised up civilization on Bal Secundus, settlements being built and humanity as we know it to be restored. He was worshipped like a god, an angel sent from the sky to bring peace and prosperity to Bal. It was then that the Emperor came and was immediately recognized by his long-lost son. Sanguinius wept at the sight of his father and welcomed the reunion with joy. His strongest warriors were taken and ascended to the heights of an Astartes, their bodies undergoing the changes required to become a super soldier. These fighters becoming the first of many who are still in the time of 40k taken from the moons of Baal to become Blood Angels. And together, the Blood Angels and their Genesire set out to join the Great Crusade. Of course, this is 40k, where there are no happy endings. The Blood Angels, like almost all of the Space Marine legions, suffered from a flaw within their genes. For them, it was called the Red Thirst, a blood rage that drove them to great savagery in battle. There's a reason that some people call them the vampires of 40k, with the Blood Angels and their Primarch sharing in this literal thirst for blood. Of course, each Blood Angel learns to control this urge, and reunited with their Primarch, it was greatly diminished, but it was still there. When Horus slew Sanguinius at the end of the heresy, the Red Thirst grew, and another fault in the Blood Angels was born, the Black Rage. Across all of the Blood Angels chapters, even to this day, there lies an echo, a psychic backlash from the death of their father. At any point, something can trigger this memory to rise to the surface, taking hold of the Marine as they relive the final moments of their Primarch. They could be fighting their way through some orcs, when suddenly, there's Sanguinius, slicing his way through traitorous Astartes to reach the bridge of the Vengeful Spirit. That war boss that once stood ahead of him, now the arch-traitor Horus. The Blood Angel in this scenario is now lost, trapped within this echo 10,000 years old. They fight, killing foes they imagine to be others until either they are slain by those they fight, or if they survive their onslaught, they are then taken and locked away by their more sane battle brothers within the Tower of Amaro. The Red Thirst and the Black Rage are both closely guarded secrets, these gene flaws being kept within the chapter. It is the burden that all Blood Angels bear and watch out for in their own battle brothers. These flaws are a big part of why I love the Blood Angels. Each one is a doomed soul, a warrior of the Imperium who knows that one day they will become just like the monsters that they fight. So they try their hardest to bring light and honor to the galaxy before they become the very darkness they sworn to defeat. Whilst it is almost impossible for a Blood Angel to return from the Black Rage, it has happened before. Undoubtedly the most famous example of this is with Calistarius, or, as he's probably more commonly known, Mephiston, the Lord of Death. Once a librarian of the First Company of the Blood Angels, he fell to the Black Rage during the Second War for Armageddon. A building had literally landed on top of him, and he was trapped under the rubble for a whole week. Each day he spent screaming and frothing, fighting against the pull of the Black Rage. On that 7th night, the screaming stopped, and he burst forth from the rubble. It would be fair here to say that Calistarius died on Armageddon, as the Marine that came forth, calling himself Mephiston, was stronger, psychically more powerful, and in some ways a bit more withdrawn. It is said by some that by embodying their Primarch during the Black Rage, and then returning to the real world, Mephiston was granted a portion of their Primarch's power, a sliver of the dead god now running through the veins of the Lord of Death. The Blood Angels are not just monsters of war, however, more than just loyalist berserkers, and their Primarch believed that they should prepare for the day when warriors such as the Astartes would no longer be needed. The chapter seeks beauty and perfection in all that they do, and enjoys art and other more creative hobbies. I'm not saying they take it as far as the Emperor's Children when it comes to perfection, but they still do strive for greatness. It was the will of Sanguinius to not only fight the enemies of mankind, but to create a better life for humanity. The Blood Angels carry that through still, learning the ways of cultures and looking to improve the conditions for those they protect. In recent events, the Blood Angels have had their numbers reduced somewhat. When High Fleet Leviathan attacked their homeworld of Baal and its moons, a grand host of successor chapters returned to Baal to defend it. There, many Astartes died, their gene seeds devoured by the endless hordes. Only by bringing forth Demons of Khorne were the Tyranids pushed back, but by the time both invading forces had been dealt with, there stood few remaining Blood Angels. If not for the timely reinforcements from the Indomitus Crusade, the Blood Angels would have become a rare sight indeed. As it stands, with the Primaris reinforcements, many Blood Angels chapters were bolstered and restored, their firstborn survivors passing on the legacy of their chapters and bloodlines to these new recruits. As you've probably gathered by now, the Blood Angels hold a special place in my heart. When I was first getting started into the hobby, I went into my local GW shop and the staff member said, "Here you go, here's the Ultramarines." When I asked, "Ooh, can I paint them red?" he responded, "Well, even better, here's the Blood Angels." And I haven't looked back since. Whilst my Marines might look a little bit different now, they still carry with them the blood of Baal into battle.
They shall be noble in spirit, honourable in manner and furious in battle. To look upon them will be to look upon glory made manifest. A gleaming host of angels, possessed of weapons so beauteous as to stir the coldest mortal souls to tears. They will be the Emperor's wrath, his vengeful angels, and none may stay their might.
There's still loads I want us to cover with the Blood Angels, such as Commander Dante, the various successor chapters such as the Flesh Tearers and the Lamenters, and of course, the devastation of Baal properly. For now though, we'll leave the Sons of Sanguinius here, introduced to the channel and to the times of Warhammer 40k. If you've enjoyed the video, consider liking it, and drop me a comment below of any video suggestions you'd like to see us cover on the channel. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.